Many adults have a really hard time saving their money, but that doesn't mean that you can slack off when it comes to teaching your kids about the importance of the almighty dollar. Now, with a new DVD, the Money Mammals is out. It's to help parents make sense out of the confusing topic of money. And we welcome the creator of that DVD, John Lanza. Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, very good.
We were talking during the break about the importance of teaching kids about money, and you're telling me that you got to start earlier rather than later. How early is early?
Well, you should start around 2 when they start to understand how to count. That's what kind of most money experts will say. You want to start early with your kids and to get that concept of, you know, they're going to understand how to spend, so you want to help them understand how to spend smart.
I understand that you need to talk about the needs versus wants, right?
That's right, that's right. That's like a core of what we like to talk about, our needs versus wants. For example, I play a game when I go into schools, and we play actually a fun game called Need or Want. And we'll put up cards, for example, and on the cards it'll say, you know, this is food, as an example.
All right. And
we ask the kids, is it a need or a want? And they will they get so into this game because they'll scream out whether it's a want or a need. And you know, and then eventually they'll get it right, and we'll go to, say, something like candy, which is obviously something that's a want. And you go through a whole different set of these, and they eventually do start to realize this. Even preschoolers will really start to get the concept of need versus want.
But now, for some parents, as long as the parent is a never-ending bank, it doesn't matter if it's a need or want if you fulfill that. So parents have to also know when to say no, right?
Yes, and that's a great issue that you just brought up, because I have a friend of mine, and he has plenty of money. And when you are going to be able to kind of address any of the wants that your kid has, basically, because they're going to be probably relatively small wants, right? Right. But you as a parent have to be able to kind of draw the line. And if you can do that, you can start to get them to understand this kind of need versus want concept.
What about giving them money? When do you start doing that?
Well, allowances, you know, it's a personal choice. And whether you tie them to chores or whether you don't tie them to chores, that's all a personal choice. But one of the most important things you can do, and about 4 or 5 is a good age, is split the money up. So instead of giving them $1, for example, you know, give them, instead of that $1, give them 4 quarters. And then they can save it in their banks. And we like to have kind of a 3-bank system, so they can put some money in their share bank. That's money they can give to charity, for example. Put some money in the save bank, and then put some more money in the spend smart bank. And we might put some more into that.
And now, is that what you're going to do? You have 2 kids. Is that what you're going to do with your kids? Is that what you do with your 3-year-old?
That's exactly what we do with our 3-year-old. And then the money that goes into the spend jar is obviously her favorite money right now.
Yeah.
And we use that to do the practice that I talked about, where we'll go to a store and spend up to that amount of money. And then eventually we hope that what she'll realize is, okay, I can save some of that money to get to, say, shoes that I can't afford to get, or are not in her budget on each of these trips to the store.
So that teaches them the importance of savings. Now, the save jar, when do they get to tap that?
The save jar, what you can do is set up certain goals. So, for example, say there's a pair of shoes that she really wants. You cut the pair of shoes out. You can just paste it to the jar if you want, or do however you want to set it up. But what we do is paste it to the jar. And that way she knows when she's putting that money in, she's saving for a goal. And it's good to set up goals, because yes, she's going to spend that money, but she can't understand kind of the long-term concept.
Yeah, I was going to say the concept of that. And then let's say Grandma gives her $5. Right. Do you say that she must put things in the share and she must put things in the save? And I mean, do you or do you say it's $5 is up to you?
Well, because her grandmother is so tied into this, her grandmother gives her $3, and one will say this goes in share, this goes in save, and this goes in spend smart. So she kind of knows where they have to go.
But for families who don't have everybody in the family is a financial planner, you know, for more whimsical families, what should they do?
Well, I think what you do is you help them split it up. So, you know, encourage anytime someone gives money to give it in denomination, you know, and break down the denomination rather than $5, give them 5
and I guess what you're doing is you're hoping that by teaching them this on the money you allot them, that they'll learn to make the decision with other money that they come into.
That's exactly it, right. That's exactly it. And at some point you kind of have to let them go, you know, in the beginning you want to kind of teach them that they have to allocate their money, but it's really going to be something that they're going to have to kind of take on their own down the road. But in the beginning, you just want to give them the idea that these are 3 things that you can do with money, and that's something that preschoolers and K through 2 kids can certainly understand.
Your sharing concept, I'm assuming it's about giving to people who need money.
That's right.
And you have to keep doing that all along, don't you? I mean, you have to be an example yourself.
Yes, you're right. And you know, just like whenever you have kids, you kind of reevaluate, see what you're doing, and
right.
you know, it helps us improve kind of what we do in terms of giving back. And a great thing for kids to do, you know, is you want to make it tangible for them. So say if you're in church and you're giving money, let your kid put a quarter in the envelope and put that in money, or you know, any similar situation. Make it as tangible for them, because that's how kids seem to understand best.
Right. And they get the sense and the satisfaction of giving and sharing. So
exactly.
Very good tips. I like it a lot, and it sure is helpful. It's the hardest thing for parents to really talk about with their kids at an early age because, like we said, we don't know how to do it ourselves. So
right.
the DVD is probably good for the parents too.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And the DVD is the Money Mammals, and it's available. We'll link it to our website, KATU.com. John, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right. When we come back, desserts with an exotic twist.